Hello, wrestling fans. Blake Smith from Walking the Ropes, and welcome to another episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review for AEW Rampage from St. Louis, Missouri. Before I get into the Rampage review, we're going to quickly run down the results of Elevation and Dark from this week. But before all of that, make sure to check out the Walking the Ropes link tree for all things Walking the Ropes. For Dark Elevation this week, it was Emi Sakura and Nyla Rose defeating Chris Statlander and Ryo Mizunami. And then Frankie Kazarian defeated Victor Benjamin. Riho defeated Kyla Sparks. FTR defeated Waves and Curls. Ty Conti defeated LMK. Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Wheeler Yuta defeated Serpentico and the Acclaimed. And for Dark this week, we had Santana and Ortiz defeating Joe Coleman and Idris Abraham. Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero defeated Vivian Van. Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson with Arn Anderson defeated Eli Knight and Malik Bosday. Daniel Garcia and 2.0 defeated RSP. John Silver and Alex Reynolds of Dark Order defeated Sean Carr and Marcus Cross. The Acclaimed defeated Ishmael Vaughn and Dante Smiley. The Bunny with the Butcher defeated Santana Garrett. 2.0 with Daniel Garcia defeated Bison XL and Tio Leona. Red Velvet defeated Solance Royale. Bobby Fish defeated Ryzen. Tony Nese defeated Fuego del Sol. And Pac defeated Tiger Ruiz. And finally now, moving on to AEW Rampage for this week from St. Louis, Missouri. We started with a singles match, Bryan Danielson versus Anthony Bowens. And this match is more of a punishment for Bowens for what he and Caster have been saying about Tony Khan. They've been basically saying he's a horrible boss. Bowens has a tough challenge, but he's taking it lightly as he taunts and mocks Danielson. Bryan is more experienced than Bowens as he takes advantage of Bowens turning his back. Bowens goes back in the ring to distract the ref, and Caster takes out Danielson. This is basically the Acclaimed's plan. They're going to take out Danielson with the two of them instead of a one-on-one match. And the Acclaimed, I'll give credit, do this very well, as it happened again, and Caster chokes Danielson with the chain. This happened probably about a minute or two after the first time. Danielson, though, has had the numbers against him before, and he starts to kick down Bowens and takes his head off for a near fall. Bowens then moves as Bryan runs at him and hits the Arrival, which is a suspended DDT kind of delivered like Crossroads. And the only reason I specify why it looks like that is because it seems like it's the first time it's been named. So that looks like it's going to be a finisher, just not on Danielson, because he comes back right away and takes out both members of the Acclaimed outside and then hits a missile drop kick back in the ring. And then just stomps on Bowens, locks in the label lock, and, well, that's it. Bryan Danielson defeats Anthony Bowens. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. It was a solid match, but it's pretty much what you would expect to see when you'd think Bryan Danielson versus Anthony Bowens. I mean, it wasn't bad by any means, so it was good. FTR and MJF, as well as Andrade, talk about what they did to Cody, and MJF wants the money, and when he gets it, he leaves. Cash of FTR says Pac has an issue with what happened. You'll see him Wednesday. We get CM Punk and Eddie Kingston coming face-to-face next. CM Punk comes out first and asks Eddie to come to his ring. Eddie's music hits, and he doesn't show up. Eventually, after some antagonizing from Punk, Eddie walks out, and Eddie asks why he would want an apology. Says, sure, he's sorry for being homesick and worried about his family and friends, so he apologizes to the fans. Eddie says he knows exactly who Punk is, and why he was his hero, like so many others, mentions Samoa Joe specifically. Eddie says that he didn't come here and politic and get handed top TV spots. Obviously, Punk didn't really have to politic for that. That's just who Punk is. Punk says all those guys judged him, all the list of men that Kingston respected. And he fell short of the mark, and that was not Punk's fault. Punk says that he's a fool for holding him to that standard because Kingston is a bum. Kingston asks if a bum could main event Full Gear, and even almost having to sell his house during the pandemic, and says he fought to get to the only pro wrestling company in the world, and then says no one wanted Punk here. He's the only one willing to say it. Kingston challenges Punk to a match at Full Gear. Punk says, how about something like Darker Elevation, more of Kingston's speed, and I kind of had to laugh at that. That was a good shot. They stand toe to toe, and then Punk accepts Kingston, Punk accepts, and Kingston says, when he beats him, Punk can go quit again and leave for 7 years. Punk hits a big headbutt, and they brawl, and they brawled for a good 2 or 3 minutes before getting separated and everything. It was really good. Cage and Jurassic Express talk about the Elite, saying they are tough guys and ask how tough they are, and challenge them to Falls Count Anywhere match at Full Gear. We then get the final first round match for the TBS Tournament Championship. The TBS Championship Tournament, wow, that went well in my head. Red Velvet versus the Bunny. Velvet comes out running down the ramp and takes it right to the Bunny and hits a huge leg lariat, and it spills outside. Jade Cargill is sitting outside in the crowd as the Bunny stops all of Red Velvet's momentum, and then stomps Velvet into the steps, and then hits a big drop kick, sending Velvet headfirst into the turnbuckle. Velvet then comes back and hits a stunner for a near fall, and they go back and forth for a while, and eventually the Bunny goes for down the rabbit hole, but Velvet fights out and hits the final slice for the win. This was a rather quick match, but it did go pretty good. Red Velvet defeated the Bunny to move on in the TBS Championship Tournament and faces Jade Cargill in round 2. Jade Cargill obviously had a bye in the first round. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3 out of 5. It was a solid match, and it seems like they just didn't want to have the potential of, not necessarily anything like that, but like a Penelope versus Bunny, but I don't actually remember who moved on, if Penelope did or not. I could be wrong, but either way, it was a good match. I like who moved on because Cargill and Velvet have some history together, so it seems like it's going to be a good match, their next match. Mark Henry talks about with the competitors of the main event. It's John Silver versus Adam Cole. John Silver talks about all the suggestions he gave Cole, and Cole tells him to shut up and that he's insecure he won't have half the career Cole will. Silver keeps poking shots at Cole, and Cole's had enough, says he's been through worse than Silver can give. We then get a singles match, John Silver versus Adam Cole. Silver mocks Cole, and then Cole kicks him, and he's still dizzy from the concerto on Wednesday. Silver targets Cole's head, hitting big shots and then tossing him around the ring. Silver knows that he can't beat Cole in a straight fight, so he has to take any advantage he can. Adam stops Silver for a moment, and then does the super click kiss, and starts to take control of Silver in the ring. Cole, though, keeps losing his balance and has to slow down. He's still able to keep control, but not letting Silver get any kind of offense until he has a huge burst of energy and starts to take it to Cole, hitting a Liger bomb for a near fall. And then they both exchange big kicks, and Cole sets up for the boom, but Silver explodes out with a huge clothesline and then hits a big punt kick. But Mac Jackson puts Cole's foot on the ropes to stop the pinfall. The Dark Order comes out to make the save, so that way the Elite can't really get involved, and during the confusion, Adam Cole goes for a low blow, but Silver, knowing this is what the Elite does, stops it and hits one of his own, hits a spinning Liger Bomb for a near fall that was so close I thought he hit 3. And Silver is once again having a one hell of a match. He's insane. He continues to stop Cole, tossing him into the corner after he went for the Panama Sunrise. But Silver runs into a super kick after what looked like he was going for a big elbow in the corner, followed by multiple kicks, and then Adam Cole lowers the boom for the win. Adam Cole defeats John Silver, but it was no easy win. For my Malteser scale, I gave it a 4.25 out of 5. They really put on a hell of a show. And for the overall for the night, I gave it a 4 out of 5. They did amazing. I really have been loving it. And the match of the night, Adam Cole versus John Silver. The segment of the night goes to CM Punk and Eddie Kingston coming face to face. I'm excited for the match at Full Gear. I can't wait for a lot of matches at Full Gear, actually. And my performer of the night, John Silver. He has been having a fantastic few matches. Like, I can't think of the last time he's had a bad match. He's been on a hell of a roll. And I don't know, maybe when Sammy's run with the TNT titles up, it'll be John Silver's turn. Maybe. Who knows? But that is all for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you enjoyed, make sure to walk. Oh my God. I'm going to take that again. And that is all for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one.